Good evening and welcome back to the ASUS ROG DreamLeague live here in Hall C. I think we are at here. B. I was so close. DreamHack Summer in Jönköping, of course. And we just witnessed our second game in our first actual 3-game series. Like we're actually going to a third game. It was, of course, then Ninjas in Pajamas. I was able to take the game off of Alliance. Alliance able to win the first game, but the second game, I felt like they kind of got beaten by their own draft, because it was a bit of an Alliance-esque draft. What do you think about the game?
Definitely. Like they picked the Loda slider and the
IO Bane as first 2 picks alone. Yeah.
It's kind of crazy. But honestly, they fought so well, NiP, in that game.
Yeah.
Like, just the tiny scraps they had, like they were on point with Bane constantly in the team fights. Everything was like so clear.
Yeah, there was like one good black hole in the entire game, and the one on top rune.
Yes.
We got like the Wisp and SF killed pretty early. It was the first black hole of the game. It was very good. Like it set the pace of the game kind of. But then they never really won a fight.
Yeah, Seal Kid though in the team fights, like he just controlled Loda and would control Mad as well. Like he'd always have the ulti ready for the black hole, like constantly on point.
Yeah, like Enfeeble is so good.
Yeah.
He's like punching like a kitten.
Yeah, Loda had a really hard time in that game having an impact. Like even he had really good farm, but Enfeeble really shuts down that hero very nicely. And yeah, I agree. I think Alliance actually got off to a really good start. Like they built a pretty significant economic advantage just with Enigma farming the jungle. I think they were hit by about 7,500 gold at one point, or maybe that was experience and gold was 4K, like one or the other.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, the fights started. Like NiP had really good assault plans in the fights where, you know, when you're playing against Enigma, you don't want to cluster up, obviously. Yeah. But not only that, they also managed to always have, like, as you mentioned, Bane was outside all the time, so should Enigma go in for the black hole, they would have Nightmare or Fiend Script ready. He always saved it, one of them, so they had the counterplay. And what was funny for me about this game was that it's kind of the game we just saw, the game before that, like Alliance versus NiP game 1. I feel like I saw the same game, just with the team switch.
Yeah. It was.
NiP had a good start in that game. They had solid team fight, and then they didn't accomplish much, and the IO team started getting pickoffs.
And the IO never died, never got focused as well.
It was basically the same game with Slaughter instead of Storm.
Yeah, as soon as he got the Blink Dagger, it was just winning fights from there.
And then they, like you said, beat Alliance with their own draft, pretty much. That's gotta feel good.
I think it's kind of a NiP draft as well.
I haven't seen NiP play Bane
maybe you can call it a
while.
Swedish draft.
Yeah, kind of. But like Bane is so natural in this kind of lineups where you have the Wisp, because they work so good in tandem. Like he can just be on his own looking for stuff.
Yeah,
and you have to be so scared as Alliance.
So do you think when they picked the Bane in the first phase that they already planned the minus armor strat, or did that come after the Bristle? Was that like a response, or did they want that anyway?
They were trying to figure out what they wanted to do, but they've played this so much before. So.
I actually remember, now that you say it, I remember you used to, when you played in the team, I think you used to play minus armor strat actually a lot of games, especially with Bristle.
We played it with Slaughter, SF, Omni Knight.
I think you had a game with Slaughter, a couple of games with Slaughter Bristle.
Yeah,
so
we
I seem to remember that.
That was at Starladder.
Yeah, that was really powerful.
Yeah, I was the Bristle Black. We fed on offlane. Still won.
Well, again, this game as well as the previous one, there were quite a few fights. One stood out, so it's time for the drawing board with Chainalytics.
Welcome to the drawing board. So we're 35 minutes into the game, and we're about to see one of these kind of scrappy fights where NiP just play phenomenally in this one, actually. So what happens is, this is like the dream, all right? You're Enigma, and you see this, but Ira gets this amazing BKB off, like just times it so perfectly, so the split art misses. Then the vacuum from Jonason fan.
And the crush.
And the crush on top of the vacuum.
He even got pike out in the crush. It was amazing.
And Leshrac is like naturally a low armor hero as well, so like he needed the Ghost Scepter, but when that Ghost Scepter was off, he just melted when he had Slider ulti on top of him. And in the back lines, you can see Loda trying to get on to Limp here, but he just gets kited by Bane, like, and then he Fiend's grips Mad as well. Like Seal Kid on this game, just so crazy. We were actually kind of joking in the, like, when the game was on, we were saying like he doesn't know what to do with the gold. You know, he never gets anything, and in this game he just played so well.
Yeah, but it's like a team effort. If you're winning, your support gets a lot of gold.
Yeah.
It's like the natural change of the kill bounty and stuff like that. So they just played it really well, and that vacuum was so clutch.
Great drawing Shiver.
It's actually really difficult.
It is, isn't it?
Because I constantly see the cursor of the observer on the map, and then I think, that's me.
And it's
And-
not.
and it's
'cause
not.
It's because you're used to playing Dota and you're used to looking at that cursor.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden you see something else and you completely mess up. That's me. But yeah, I mean, it was a great game for NiP. Can they do it again? As the question, as the casters mentioned, this is an elimination match. And the next game is match point. So one of these two teams is going to be a spectator for the rest of the event. And in my opinion, it's quite even. Now, at the start of the series, I did say that I thought Alliance was gonna take it, and I'm not gonna back out for that. But I really don't know. Like, it could go either way. And I think a lot is gonna depend on draft. Which team is gonna get the IO, for example?
I think neither.
Yeah, I think it could get banned.
This is
Will
probably
get
the
banned?
game in which it gets banned.
Which hero, instead of the others that got banned, is gonna make it through?
Queen of Pain, maybe?
Fair enough.
I'm guessing she was banned. I don't even remember.
She was
but since she
banned.
wasn't picked.
Ninjas in
so
Pajamas
banned.
banned her alongside
Totally.
Nature's Prophet, and we had actually got a tiny ban because they already, on the side of Alliance, they already knew
Yeah,
that they
it
were
was
going to let the
like-
IO
Yeah, it was
through.
the
Second
same
round.
way because they don't want to give away Tiny Wisp because they
Yeah.
think it's too
Yeah.
strong.
But that also means they wanted to give away Wisps.
Yeah,
They really
Yes.
wanted NiP to take it, and
Yes.
they still lost. So
They thought they had a plan against it, or at least maybe they did, and it got screwed up by the drafting of NiP. That could be too. But which heroes are we looking forward to seeing instead of IO and instead of Bane in this case, perhaps? I mean, Bane has been victorious 2 games in a row. How can you hate on the Banes? And
it's true. I don't know. I have the feeling that the playstyle of this game might be radically different for at least one of the teams. That we're going to see something else. The Bane has won in both games because the stronger teamfight team did not really force the issue and take towers.
Okay.
So I think it's possible that if we see a Bane pick from either side again, maybe we see the opposition try to push earlier, like pick a little bit more push-oriented. I could like to see the Chen.
Yeah.
The only time we've seen Chen picked in this tournament, he completely ran over the enemy team. And
he was the last pick that game too, right?
yeah, he was a very late pick. And it seems like in this, like, what was it this game? NiP was very single target heavy once again.
Was
Like
last
Alliance
week
were single
Doxy,
target
yeah.
heavy first game. They had a vacuum into what was it they could combo
Crush.
with?
Slark.
Crush and
Requiem.
and Requiem.
Yeah.
So okay, some AoE damage, but not the most in the world. Like Requiem is not reliable AoE damage. It's
Yeah.
great when you get it off, but you can't rely on it. So maybe if you play on something like that, you think about teaming up with a Chen, pushing towers early, similar to what Navi did. It's a possibility.
Why don't we see Dragon Knight anymore? Like, we literally never see Dragon Knight.
I think we might see it with the Shen.
Yeah.
Like I think Shen is very possible to see here in the last game.
That combination is
Like both
insane.
teams have favored it a lot in the past.
Yeah.
So I would not be surprised to see it at all.
Well, we're going to find out what they're going to draft. Indeed, as Sinrin already said, IO is not going to make it through the first banning phase. Was able to sneak peek that one in.
Well done, Sidwin.
But it's time for match point, match game. Navi. Wow, Ninjas in Pajamas taking on Alliance here in the 3rd game of the lower bracket first round. It's time for the deciding match. Which team is going to go home? Which team is going to move forward to tomorrow? We'll find out